This is just another one of my informative videos. I'm attempting to do my first valve job on a Yamaha engine. It's a premature problem I have with the WR250R 2017. It's supposed to have a valve job every 29,000 miles. This motorcycle only has 2,900 miles on it. And I believe it was because I rode it a lot in the winter time for 2 winters, and now I'm losing compression and when it heats up right before the cooling fan comes on now. So I've checked my tolerances and they're definitely out of spec, and I just got new shims for this. But this video is actually for the timing chain tensioner. Okay, here's the tensioner. It's an automatic tensioner. It's got a threaded gear inside that I'll demonstrate later. You got your plant, you got your cylinder, we'll call that a plunger, your internal spring, your worm gear, your external spring, and these two, what are these? I forget the name. C retaining rings. There's one that's a larger circumference, thinner gauge metal, one that's a smaller circumference, heavier gauge metal. And inside the body of this is the front of it. There are two channels. There's a wider one for the thicker gauge C ring, and a thinner one for the thinner gauge one. So you want to go ahead and put the thicker gauge one in. And when you do that, it's in there, it's in that notch. Make sure you straddle that little tab with the two ends of the wires. Then put the outer thinner gauge one in the outer channel. And just thread this outer spring in past those little C-clips with your finger. Pinky finger works good. Make sure it doesn't disrupt where your springs are sitting. You check your springs, make sure they're in the right spot. Looks like they are. And just go ahead and assemble all these pieces here. Put spring in the worm gear. Put the plunger in the spring. Put all that inside the cylinder. And this is actually designed to thread in and then automatically, with lubrication, will create tension by unscrewing itself inside. But you got to set this. And this is the part that I spent 2 hours trying to figure out. So when you're pushing this in, it won't go past that back clip until you pull this over a little bit. Take the back spring and pull it over. The other side's going to be retained by that tab, but pull it over and it will slide past. You got to kind of twist it in there a little bit, and then it will hold it in there. You can't pull it out now. But it's beveled on the front side of that notch on the cylinder. It's beveled so that when you push in and twist, it actually starts going in to the body. See how it's getting shorter? But you can't do that like that. You have to do it and this is all online. You can look it up. I'll just demonstrate it here. Just put it between, make sure your thumb's on the cylinder and your fingers on the back side of the body, and just start twisting the outer body of it while you're screwing the cylinder into the body. It gets a little bit hard to hold, but once you get to that outer spring, that notch, you want to pinch that outer C clip so it engages with that spring. It might take a couple tries of twisting it in. Pinch that and get that to ride right down in the notch, the deep notch, and it will set itself just like that. And now it's ready for when you put that inside the engine and stuff starts hitting the end of this. It'll actually release that clip and let it come out. See how that worked? Stuff starts, it's really, really engineered well. So impressive. Anyway, I'll reset it again and it's ready to go. So when you put this in, you want to make sure that you're holding tension on the downside of the chain on your intake side. You want to kind of grip that while you're pushing this in and getting this spring to this C clip to release like I just demonstrated, so that this doesn't come out and just go boom and smack the chain and then make your chain hop a tooth or two on your cams, your cam pulleys. So just make sure, and I'm not going to do that here. There's reference to that online. There's stuff to read. I don't think there's any videos, but maybe I'll just demonstrate that on a different video. Maybe on this one. So what I meant is just hold tension on the chain somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's got to have some kind of tension on it so it doesn't just hop. Or maybe just hold the chain down on the sprockets here, on your pulleys when you're releasing. I don't know, something. I'm going to have to figure it out here. Something will work. Just make sure you don't lose your timing. I've got this all timed right now. It's all ready to go. I got my timing marks right there. And let's see if I can see this one. I don't know if I can or not. It's kind of blocked. No, this one's not timed right. I got a problem with the timing on that one, it looks like. Anyway, I'll set that timing correctly and then we'll be done.